fuck is this? What's up, welcome back to another video. So today I'm just going to be doing a first impression sort of on this Canon EOS-1N. So this is a 35mm SLR camera. It looks very much like the 5D, 6D, any of the newer full frame digital SLR cameras, but this one is still a film camera. This camera debuted back in 1994. Making this camera roughly 25 years old. Back in 1994, this was Canon's prosumer model. It was then replaced by the EOS-1V, which a lot of people seem to sought after, even though this one is pretty good in comparison. Back in 1994, if you were to pick this camera up, you would be spending somewhere near $2,000. Now, if you want to buy one of these, you could find one in a really nice condition like this from eBay for about 150 bucks. So there are a couple of reasons why I wanted to pick up this camera in general compared to just another SLR camera. I own two of these Canons. This is the Canon TL, and I also have a Canon A1. They both work really well, but they lack a couple things. The one thing that this had that the older Canons didn't, which was kind of why I wanted this, is the lens mount. Unlike the older Canons, which is an FD lens, this is actually EF. So this will work with any modern EF lenses that you have, and you can adapt anything that you could adapt an EF lens with onto this as well. There are a lot of other cameras like this, like Nikon's F4 or F5, where you can attach modern glass to this, but I went with Canon because I have a Canon. I shoot on the Canon M50 for the most part with an EF speed booster adapter, so I have a lot of EF lenses, plus the one that I'm recording with. So being that I already had all of the nice glass for this, I wanted to go with the Canon one versus something like Nikon. The other big reason that I liked this camera was because you could shoot this at 1/8000th of a second, which again, compared to the older film cameras, you can really only go to 1/1000th, which does kind of hinder you on what film you want to use during what time of day. So with the really fast shutter speed, as well as the nicer lenses that you can use, you can shoot this wide open with really whatever kind of film you want any time of day, and you will get good results. The other thing is that with the glass, you are able to use modern glass, which is a lot better when you shoot it wide open. With older film cameras like the FD and stuff, if you shoot them wide open, they're usually extremely soft, which does kind of add to the picture sometimes, but I definitely think a little bit of a sharper picture is never a problem. So the first impression right out of the box is that this thing is pretty big and pretty heavy, so it might not be the best travel camera. You probably wouldn't want this around your neck all day. It does weigh quite a bit, especially with the extended battery grip that I have that takes 8 AA batteries. If you get this camera without the extended grip, which I do recommend you get, it takes a 2 CR3 battery, which is kind of expensive and they don't last that long, so you probably are better off with the extended grip and the 8 AA batteries. General size and weight of this is pretty similar to that of like a 5D or a 6D or any modern DSLR full frame camera. It is very ergonomic. It's very nice to hold on to, whether you're taking it landscape or portrait. There is a button on the bottom if you want, as well as there is a switch to turn on and turn off in case you do not want this on, you don't want to bump it by accident and take a picture. The other main functions of this are all on the top here. There are a lot of functions, a lot of menus, everything to really customize this to however you want to do. So I'm just going to bring this in a little bit tighter and show you guys all of that. So for someone like myself, this fits very nice in the hands. I do kind of have bigger hands. It's not too big, it's not too small. Especially if you didn't get the battery grip, it still definitely fits in one hand very nice. The main function buttons and everything are right up here on top, easy to find. So by pressing this button right down here, you're able to change your meter. So with this button here, with the AF button, press it and you can switch between one shot and AI servo. Right here, this button controls your modes for what you're going to be shooting on. Right now I'm on aperture priority. you can change to manual, shutter priority, bulb mode, or program. If you press the meter button and the autofocus button, you can take up your ISO. This is DX code, so if you do not want to, you can just leave this in. This goes all the way up to 6400 and all the way down to 6. So if you change to manual mode, you will be able to change your shutter speed with this dial right here. But if you want to change your aperture, you're going to use this right here. But you want to make sure that this is on. So turn that on, and now you're able to change down to whatever you want. So on the side of the camera is this little barn door right here. And if you open it up, you have all of these buttons as well as this little menu here. So in here you have your battery check, your drive mode, and custom function. So for custom function, you're able to set certain things. I know a very popular thing for this camera is to leave out the leader when you roll up your film. You can also check your battery. So by pressing this, it shows that I have 3 bars. And by checking the one underneath it, it's a little bit blue. You can change your drive mode. So this is single shot, this is high speed shutter, low speed shutter, timer for 10 seconds, timer for 2 seconds, and then back to 1 shot. You can change your autofocus point. So there are 5 autofocus points inside the camera, which represent this. You can change where you want the autofocus point to go to, or you can just change it to go to all of them. So when you have this in high shutter mode, you are able to shoot up to 8 frames per second. Shooting at 8 frames per second, you can eat through a roll of 36 exposure film in about 4.5 seconds. For today's video, I'm also going to be shooting this with some Fuji C200. So the camera is all automated. All you do is just load the film and place the leader right over here, shut the door, and like a point and shoot camera, it'll just suck up the amount until you're ready to shoot. So there's also no need to crank anything. Basically like a point and shoot that you can change all the settings and replace with much better glass. So I'm going to take some pictures of stuff around my house as well as some local things. I'm trying not to be out too much with this whole virus. Everyone should be staying home and staying safe. So to practice that, I'm not going to go anywhere crazy. I might go across the street to a middle school and take some pictures there. I took some pictures there for the medium format video. If you have not seen that, I will leave it up here in the top. We're going to shoot this now. There's a lot of places to hide a body here. Just saying. It's a nifty tree. So yesterday I was walking around with the Canon 50 1.4. Today I'm walking around with the Sigma 35 1.4. So as you guys just saw, I shot through those 2 rolls of C200. Definitely film I've never used before, and I was pretty surprised with how it came out. I was kind of expecting it to look like a Superior 400, kind of like a heavy green or purple cast, but it was pretty good actually. It was actually pretty warm too for being a Fujifilm. If you guys are interested in looking at the photos unedited or just the rest of the photos that I didn't put in, I'll leave a link, like I always do, in the description to a Google Drive if you guys want to check that out. Out of the 2 rolls, I think my favorite photo was probably this one. I probably could have composed it a little bit better, but I like the colors. I think I walked around at a good time when everything was blooming. I think this one was also on the 35. Let me know which picture you guys like the most. I would highly recommend this to anyone that wants to upgrade from an older film camera to something a little bit more advanced. This is definitely the closest that you can get to a digital camera before actually getting a digital camera. And plus you could use any EF glass. So if you have a bunch of EF glass already because you shoot digital, this would be a great camera for you. I think this is definitely the next step up for someone that wants to shoot on film but wants the amenities of like a newer camera. I wouldn't necessarily say this fits someone in particular. I think really anyone could use this, whether they're doing portraits or nature photography or landscape photography, whatever it is, especially if you have digital lenses, like EF lenses, then this would be perfect for you. If you have a bunch of them, you don't want to invest in FD lenses or something else that you really aren't going to use too often. If you guys learned anything or like the video, like and subscribe if you have not already. We just hit 300 recently, so thank you guys all for that. But that is going to wrap it up for this EOS-1N video. If you guys have any questions, anything that I missed out on, leave a comment or you can DM me on Instagram. I'll leave my Instagram right here. Stay tuned for another video. I'm going to be doing some interesting stuff, something you might be able to do at home during this whole quarantine thing. So I will see you guys in the next episode.